Ravi, your thoughts, opening views, and if you could also throw in some numbers, I mean, just so that we have a sense of what has been the absorption, what are the pricing trends. How do you sum up where we are in the real estate cycle overall? Ravi?
Surbhi, thanks for having me. It's literally been a bull run, like Anuj rightly says. And post 21, 22, we have literally seen all markets almost double in terms of pricing. Compared to last year, 23 to 24, the increase has been a little subdued. I would say about 10 to 12% what we have witnessed so far. And I think the pricing is going to hold going forward. And but exciting times. What encourages me is bulk of the demand is coming from end use. People are actually looking to buy homes to live in them rather than just looking at it as an investment product.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Ravi, because sometimes, and I guess that's what happens when you've been doing this for a long time. Because when I hear the announcements of flats sold in one day, or demand was so high that inventory was taken up in like a couple of hours, and flats for 5 CR, 7 CR were all taken up. Sometimes the journalist in me worries whether we are starting some sort of a period of excesses or not. But gentlemen, I want to now come to the key question for anyone who's watching the show is that, is this a good time to buy my dream home? I know both of you will say that any time is a good time if it's a home that you want to buy to stay in. But still, there are two key factors that people look at, right? One is pricing. And you have to take that into consideration to decide, your cash flows, etc. And the second is obviously the rate cycle, interest rate cycles. So I want to get your views on both. Because the expectation is that gradually over the course of this year, we will be in a lower interest rate regime. So Ravi, come in on this. First of all, on pricing. Now, I'm talking about someone who's looking to buy a home for end use, either the person himself or herself or their family. Is this the right time, and how should one go about it?
Surbhi, we have seen a tremendous price rise in the last 3 years. And I personally feel the price is here to stay. And in my 20 years in real estate, I really haven't seen real estate prices come down. So what a consumer should look at now is, how most cost effectively he can acquire real estate. And I think largely that is going to be backed by deferred payment plans, which the developers are looking to launch in time to come. Uh, Coming to interest rates, we are seeing it soften across the globe, and today most financial institutions are operating on a variable rate of interest. So as and when how the market behaves, the interest rates are adjusted accordingly. So if you are my suggestion, if you're looking to buy, uh, there is never a wrong time. You should go ahead. And just to add to what Anuj was mentioning earlier, we have a huge demand for real estate in India, especially residential. And when I say that, if we look at top 8 cities in India today, we are selling close to about 5 to 6 lakh units a year. And if I look at some of the developed countries in the world, UK today sells about 4.5 million units every year at one third the population base. China at its peak was selling 9 million 9 million homes every year.
Hmm.
So that is the quantum of sales we can look at getting into. And Anuj, the way he has said it, we need more supply coming into the market for people to actually go out and execute transactions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The problem with some of the markets, for instance, probably Mumbai, is that 5 is the new 2 and 10 is the new 5, where you thought, okay, if you can stretch a budget for about 2 CR, you'll get a decent house in the MMR region. Now I think those numbers are just going up. So let's, gentlemen, go on to talk about, for the investor, what does real estate have in store? Before I want to come to your picks and choices, let's just put some ground rules in place. What all should investors keep in mind before they're taking that call on real estate, where obviously the capital values could be a lot higher. Ravi?
Uh, I think the commercial side of real estate offers better opportunities, Survey, and we have seen the maximum absorption in office and warehousing in the last 2 years. So going forward, I think that's the more lucrative option that we should evaluate when it comes to investments. And with that, the investment opportunity has quite become regularized with REITs and micro REITs coming in. So people should evaluate those options, which are now regularized by SEBI, and look at the commercial side of real estate for investment purpose.
Okay, both of you mentioned REITs as a vehicle to also obviously play the real estate story. We have a question on this. This query is coming in from one of our viewers, Sam, who writes in on social media. He's saying, is fractional ownership in commercial real estate units a prudent and viable investment option? Great question there, and I think both our guests are indicating that you could look at this. So let me ask them about it. Ravi, come in on this. Now, instead of just pure REITs, you also have the small and medium REITs, right? So just quickly run us through what has changed, what is the entry barrier, what is the minimum investment, and if this is a way to play maybe commercial real estate.
Surbi, REITs earlier had a cap of 500 crores, okay, which the government has now reduced to 50 crores. And now it's targeted at ready assets which are going to which will have rental yields going forward. And the minimum investment for these small and medium REIT is an investment of 10 lakh rupees. Okay, so it is a slightly higher yielding asset class than the traditional REIT, because it has ready to occupy assets under operations. Whereas REITs, you have assets which are in acquisition as well and in development. So it's being a smaller size, it is slightly more riskier than traditional REIT, but at the same time offers a slightly higher return.
Or maybe a little later down the year, I'm calling both of you back on because we need a full classroom on this new, asset class, this new option of the small and medium REITs. We need to understand the dynamics more closely. But for now, before we wrap up, this is a quick last, 10 seconds answer. You both said that residential real estate for end use now is as good a time as any to buy your dream home. But from an investment perspective, if you were to say and take a pick, any pick across India, any market, whether it could be land, commercial, give us the specifics. Which city, what kind of product? Ravi, which one would you go with? The best real estate investment for 2025?
I would still go with Bangalore.
And what in Bangalore?
Uh, there is tremendous lots of opportunities. Like Anuj had mentioned earlier, I could look at plots. I could look at, because the infrastructure development in the city is so huge, and
Okay.
it is going to show its color in the next 3 to 4 years. Okay,
Okay.
so I would evaluate connectivity to
Sure.
CBDs, and I would have a strategy around the future development for my investment.
Bangalore. Bangalore gets your top billing. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. This was a good session, a very, very useful and helpful one to help our viewers decipher how they can look at real estate in this new year. Thanks for joining.